So, guys, welcome to a new episode of Today en la Tommorou. That's the way we're going to pronounce it, right?
Yeah, Today en la Tommorou.
Today en la Tommorou. I'm here with my buddy Chris. How are you doing today, Chris?
Doing well, Cesar. How are you doing?
Right, it's Cesar. It's not Cesar anymore. Yeah, Caesar's too weird.
Yeah.
Nobody calls me that. Like, it sounds fucked.
It sounds pretty forced in English.
True.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
True, yeah. So,
I don't know any Cesar in English, though.
Yeah. We talked about that. So, how are you doing?
I'm good.
How was your weekend? Or your week, or whatever?
It's been nice. I've had a little time off. It's the first time in a while. So, hanging out and watch a little bit of the new FX show, What We Do Behind the Shadows.
What We Do Behind the Shadows? What's it about? Never seen it.
It's a vampire society. It's kind of like a mockumentary.
All right. Okay.
This vampire society. It's kind of like a fraternity.
Uh-huh.
And they each, it's like they have their meetings together and like, we are the vampires. We like to...
They get together and do vampire shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they like tell each other things like, when you drink blood of your victims, Victor, if you could not leave so many stains on the carpet, please.
Oh,
because they all live together.
So it's a comedy?
It's a comedy, 100% comedy.
Oh, I thought it was like serious shit. No, not at all.
It's great. It's awesome. Yeah.
What
They're
we do
like
in the
real
shadows.
vampires with real powers,
Uh-huh.
and they just want to like drink people's blood and fuck stuff up and rape and pillage.
Right.
But they go about it like in a very awkward like office kind of setting.
But so it has to be like a black comedy though, right? Like is there a
really
lot
dark.
of blood and sex and shit?
Yeah, there's like some light like cutesy humor about certain things, but it's always oriented towards killing people and being vampires, which is cool.
What We Do in the Shadows. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. I might watch it.
It's funny. There's also a movie that came
Because
out.
I haven't seen anything new lately. Have you seen Stranger Things, the new one?
I saw the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
Of season 3.
Is it okay?
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, you like it a lot? Because I liked the first season, and then the second season I hated it. So I don't see a reason for me to look at the third one.
I mean, it's an interesting show. I feel like the way that it's captured, like the directing
80s
is
nostalgia.
awesome.
Yeah, no, of course.
The editing's cool. Mm-hmm. The influences are very clear. And it's cool to watch it and be like, oh, I just saw some X-Files right there. And then like,
okay.
There's some Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And like,
Fast Times at Richmond High. Holy shit.
It hits all these different notes. It's so well, and it bounces between them.
But the story's kind of shit, though. Or not really. I mean, the second one was kind of bad.
I love the first one. The second one, I didn't get a chance to watching it.
So you're watching the third one and you haven't seen the third
season? I said fuck it, I'm jumping to the third one. Fuck it.
Really? Just watch un Te lo resumo así nomás. Have you ever seen that?
Where they put like, in 10 minutes, they just bang, bang, bang?
Yeah. No, but there's a channel. It's a guy that's from Argentina, I believe. It's called Te lo resumo así nomás. Have you ever seen it? He's like really popular.
I've seen a couple of ones in English where it's like Game of Thrones, season 1 in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but it's not the one I'm telling you about. It's a YouTube channel. It's called like that. Te lo resumo así nomás. And it's supposed to be, it's like a satire, I guess. Because he'll tell you the movie, but in a funny way.
Oh, cool.
You know, like this guy comes over here and then he fucks shit up. You know, like that kind of... It's not actually for somebody that really wants to watch it.
It's like a very dramatic part, like a 5-minute dramatic scene will be summed up in like...
Yeah.
And then that person was killed.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks. Next person.
Yeah. Sort of like that. It's supposed to be like funny. I've seen like a couple of his videos, but I don't... Sorry. But I don't watch it that much because since I talk about movies too, I don't want to get like outside influences. Okay. Because it'll happen sometimes. And then people will be like, oh, you said the exact same thing that this other guy said in this other video. And I'm
really?
Like, yeah, it's happened to me a lot of times.
That's wild, yeah.
So I'm like, yeah.
People will call you for copyright?
No, I mean, not copyright, but they'll say, I mean, it's interesting though, because, I don't know, like a bad movie, like The Room, for example. Have you ever seen it?
See it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So there's only so much you can say about it, right? And other people are going to get to that same. I love that movie.
Everyone's already jumped all over it.
Exactly.
There's nothing left to do.
Yeah. Have you seen the new one, Best
With
Friends?
James Franco?
No. Okay. The Disaster Artist. Did you see that one?
No.
Okay. It's all right.
Yeah?
I saw it. I mean, James Franco impersonation of Tommy Wiseau is spot on.
Yeah?
Yeah. He nails it, man.
Cool.
The other guy though is Greg. Nah. I mean, Dave Franco's always kind of sucked to me.
Okay.
I don't know what you think about him.
His brother?
Yeah. Do you like him at all? He's okay?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, he didn't really give me such a strong impression where it was like, wow, that's James Franco's brother.
Yeah.
It's just like,
True, yeah.
It's just like, oh, there he is.
That's him.
It looks kind of like James Franco, and he's a little less charismatic.
Yeah, exactly. I think he kind of sucks, man. And no, but there's another one by Tommy Wiseau. It's called Best Friends.
Okay.
But it's friends, but the R is in a parenthesis. So it's like Best Fiends. but it's best friends.
No.
Yeah. I haven't been able to see it yet because I haven't found it.
I thought you were going to say like the R's backwards, like Toys R Us. Like,
Yeah. Does Toys R Us still exist?
It went
I know
mostly out of
bankrupt.
business, yeah.
Yeah.
It still exists back where I'm from in York, Pennsylvania. When I was there over Christmas, I saw Toys R Us.
You saw
there.
Toys R Us. And
Yeah.
did you go in there?
I had no reason to go into Toys R Us, but
So there was this girl I used to date, and she asked me once for me to accompany her to Toys R Us. This was like 9 years ago.
okay.
No, 10 years ago. 11 years ago. Okay,
Yeah,
10
yeah.
years ago. And I'm like, all right, Toys R Us. Yeah, I haven't been there in forever. And I went in there, and it was depressing, man. Like, there was nothing. Like, most of where all the toys and shit used to be, there were just video games.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, kids don't play with toys anymore, I guess. Yeah.
I guess so, right? There were like tablets and fucking webcams or shit like that.
Yeah.
There were toys, but not as much. Because I remember Toys R Us was crazy.
Toys R Us was nuts.
I know.
And they did such a good job of making you want to go to that store because they would show like shows on Nickelodeon where it was like they give a kid one shopping cart and he has 1 minute to get whatever he
I
wanted.
always saw that on Fox TV. I always used to see on Nickelodeon and on Fox. I remember there was this, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like, you know, the cartoons that they gave during the morning, and they would always throw that shit. And I always sent letters to that. Because, yeah, you'd have like a kid with a shopping cart, and he had a minute to just fucking fill it to the brim with whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and they would just go nuts.
Yeah, I remember I used to love Toys R Us. When I went to school, I remember my dad was like, okay, if you send me an A, whenever you get an A, we'll go to Toys R Us.
And yet, just the idea.
Yeah, just the
like,
idea
wow,
of Toys R Us.
like,
Wow. Yeah, because just looking at the
this
place
paradise.
it was paradise. And now it just totally sucked. I mean, 10 years ago. So...
Like when Bart gets to live with Mr. Burns. He goes to Mr. Burns' place in The Simpsons, and he like transforms everything into a paradise for kids. Where it's like there's a train there, and he's got like a basketball court and everything. And like that's what Toys R Us felt like.
Yeah,
like,
now I feel bad because I haven't seen that episode. Or I must have. I mean, I'm not really that into The Simpsons.
Okay.
A lot of people tell me, yeah, like The Simpsons episode. I'm like, haven't seen it. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not that into. I don't hate him. I just never really got into him, to be honest. It kind of sucks.
One of those shows that it's so timeless.
Yeah, but I've heard that the new seasons are shit, though.
Oh no, those are. I mean, seasons like 2 through 10 are timeless. Mm-hmm. When they had the original writers.
When do you think that it went? Yeah, because Conan O'Brien used to write there, right?
Yeah, until season 4. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you know your Simpsons then?
Pretty well.
Pretty well. So when do you say it started going to shit?
I would say season like 11 or 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why is it bad now?
Just because now their humor is like very topical. So it's like, okay, if something's happening on the internet, they're gonna make a joke about internet memes, and they're gonna make a
kind of like how South Park is now. Have you seen like the latest seasons?
Right? Yeah. Well, they'll just take whatever's happening in the news and bang.
And then make an episode out of it.
Which that's okay. It'll get some ratings for that day, but then you watch the episode in 5 years, and it's dated as fuck.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch it.
Exactly. Yeah,
lame.
that's the thing. It's hard to be timeless though.
It's hard, but the Simpsons seasons 3 through 10 or so, I would say, like, do it really well.
Yeah.
You watch those episodes, and it makes fun of like archetypes of people, and the archetype of Krusty the Clown, and what it is to be like a broken comedian. And it does it really well in a way that you can watch it now and go, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And how Homer is like a family man, you can still relate to that. And now it's like the family doesn't matter. Their nucleus of a family, there aren't like lessons in the show that really mean anything.
Oh, that sucks.
Where like at the end they still learn, and the good like golden seasons of The Simpsons, it was ridiculous, and an episode would have like Bart wants to get a new video game, like Bone Storm. It's like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So it's teasing that, but then like at the end of the day, the episode wasn't just to make fun of Mortal Kombat. You know, it was like to show
it had different
Bart
layers.
tried to steal something, and he felt bad about it, and then he got caught for it, and then his mom tries to bail him out and gets him a video game that isn't related to the one he wanted, but he loves her anyway. It's just like, it's still good.
Now I understand that meme now. Yeah, because I've seen a meme of Bart getting like a video game that he didn't want, and he's like, "Oh, thank you anyway." I've seen it. I've seen it like made into a meme.
It's like Lee Corso's putting challenge.
Putting challenge.
Yeah, it's the worst video, and then they show the game at the end.
Have you seen The Simpsons in Spanish here?
Yeah.
Do you like them? Less, right?
Yeah.
I know that's what happens to me too, and everybody's like, "No, man, in Spanish they're way better." But I just can't. I can't wrap my head around the voices here.
I just feel like they're very generic Latino.
True, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. Yeah.
I was like, oh, Omerto. Pero ¿cómo está la cosa? Nah, I'm actually really terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's not doing it.
But it's okay. You're allowed to be terrible in this podcast. So we already have one episode up. It's already in Spotify. Man, it took me forever to get it to Spotify.
Yeah, fuck Spotify.
For some reason, I was trying to upload it, but I just couldn't. And I had to contact support, and they bounced me through all these different email addresses. And then there was this one guy who was like, okay, try this. You know, he tried me like to use a secret window, like in modo incognito.
Okay.
Incognito.
Yeah.
Guy incognito. I did that, and I said, no, that didn't work. And they're like, oh, okay, why don't you try this? No, it doesn't work either. Oh, okay, try this. And then they never, ever answered me again. And then every single day I would just try again to upload it, and nothing. And then Monday, I believe it was, I don't remember. I just tried it again, and boop, there it is.
Cool.
So, yeah, so it just worked. And then they send me an email like, we have fixed your problem. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I did it by myself. You haven't fixed shit. You know? But, so, we only have one episode, and it's already number 37 on Spotify podcasts.
No way.
I swear to God.
Oh, man.
We're already in the top 50.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
It got picked up by the network.
We're greenlit. We're greenlit for a whole... Oh, greenlit. I guess that could be like a topical word of the day,
maybe.
One,
yeah.
Greenlit. So do you know what it means? Do you want to explain it? Because a lot of people told me that they liked this show because it was good for them to practice at least their hearing. And I saw some comments like, yeah, I thought I was a lot shittier in English, but I understood most of it. So cool, you know?
Yeah.
And other people were like, no, I did not understand a fucking word of it.
Yeah, so I think I read a few comments like, can you please speak a little more slowly? Mm-hmm. So we'll try. We will try this time.
We will try. What have they told you on your end? Have you had like a feedback from people, like relatives or people close to you or whatever?
It's sort of like I felt a little bit embarrassed about putting it up on my Facebook because I have so many family and friends, mostly family, that look at that stuff more than my friends will. And my family is, I don't know, like last time I talked about waking up with a coworker and then like...
Yeah, you don't want your mom hearing your sex stories.
Yeah, especially when they're like lame. You know?
Yeah, at least if you had like some sexual prowess, you could be like, yeah, mom.
That's what,
your son made it, mamá.
Exactly. Ese es mi hijo.
Ese es mi cabro. Yeah, I know. It's weird for me. Sometimes my mom will tell me shit like about my videos. I'm like, don't watch that shit, Mom. Like, really, don't. She's like, no, I watch it. It's really funny. I'm like, come on, man. It's cringy. It's cringy to me.
Yeah. My mom will give me like advice on my comedy.
Really?
She'd be like, I like it when you're always dancing. Do more dancing.
Okay.
I'm like, Mom, that's not... That video wasn't funny. I shouldn't... I had to take it down. It was so bad I took it down. She's like, no, but just keep dancing. You're wonderful. You're wonderful.
You should make a shirt like always keep calm and keep dancing.
That's for
you know,
Mom.
Sponsored by your mom. Yeah, so a lot of people liked it. So I guess we're gonna continue for the time being. So greenlit. It comes from you know more about this than me because you're a teacher. So lit, that is past, right? For light.
Yeah.
And so when something gets a green light, it means that it gets, like approved or to go forward. So something that is green lit is a way to say that it's been approved. There was an episode of South Park where the kids wanted to get a Netflix show.
Okay.
And they were making fun of Netflix. So they would call Netflix and they would say, Netflix are desperate. They'll make shows about whatever the fuck they want. Whatever the fuck, they're desperate. So they would call Netflix, and the guy that picks up at Netflix, he would be like, Netflix, you're greenlit. How can I help you? And like everything was greenlit, like from the start. Like, yeah, just give us shows. Please.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I remember some people asking me, like, what do they mean by greenlit? So I guess that could be like the word of the day, maybe. Greenlit?
Greenlit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think so? Yeah, green lit.
And then the word next week will be rejected.
There you go. And then the next week will be fucking canceled. Terminated. So what's our subject for the day? We got a really interesting one today.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one.
Okay, so what's it about? Tell us, please.
Conspiracies. So I want to take Chilean conspiracies from the United States, compare, contrast a little bit.
Yeah.
And try to look at the story behind the story, I guess, in some way.
Because thinking about it, when we were talking about Toys R Us, I was trying to think about something like
Toys
here
R
in
Us
Chile.
conspiracies. Let's do it.
No. No, I was thinking about if there was something similar here in Chile, like a big ass toy store, but I don't remember any. I remember that when
There's
I was
not a chain toy store in the same way.
no,
Like
not in the same way. I remember when I was a kid, they used to talk about this place that was called Otto Kraus. You know, I guess maybe our older
Otto Kraus.
Otto Kraus, yeah.
Quiero un juguete. Otto Kraus.
Yeah, no shit. It was like that, sort of. But I remember that all those toys were like bullshit, though. They were like plastic ass trucks, you know? Like
Okay.
I remember when I saw them, they were like not appealing at all. But,
Oh, really?
but I think that the actual place, they had their own Otto Kraus brand toys, and they also had other shit.
Okay.
But I never went to one. I don't know anybody that ever went to Otto Kraus. Because
Okay.
it's different here, like to get money for toys. I mean, at least when I grew up, we didn't have like that amount of money. I remember
it's tough
toys.
in Chile. It's tough in Chile to make enough money to buy
A fucking toy.
Extra shit. Yeah.
It is.
God.
It totally is.
I don't know how people do it.
Well, piracy. Because I remember when I was a kid.
Well, you steal things.
you just steal some shit. Be a Chilean. I remember when I was a kid, we used to go a la feria.
Okay.
And there were like certain places that would have toys, but they were like bootlegging, right? I remember.
Oh, like La Feria de las Pulgas.
Right. No, but La Feria de las Pulgas is sort of like what you call over there a flea market. Right?
Yeah,
like,
I guess same thing.
Yeah, but here, no, in La Feria, like where you get your produce and your vegetables and shit.
Yeah.
There would be like certain places, certain stands that would sell toys.
Okay.
But they were like, I remember Los Caballeros del Zodiaco when I was. Did you ever see those? They're called Saint Seiya.
Okay.
And they never passed them in the States?
Not that I know of.
No, right?
Yeah.
But because you got here 5 years ago, yeah, then you would have seen them. Because I remember when I first got here to Chile in '96, they were like really big. Los Caballeros del Zodiaco. Saint Seiya, they were called in Japanese, I believe. And I remember I would get like a shitty ass toy of these. Costaban like 2 lucas.
Yeah.
You know? But if you wanted like a real one, like a Bandai one, they were like 15,000. And it was crazy. It was a crazy amount of money.
Okay.
Back then, even. You know, imagine 15,000 back in 1996.
That might be
Would
like-
be what, like 30?
50.
Like 50.
I guess.
Yeah. It was crazy. So I remember you always had like this one friend that had like one Bandai toy. And it was like, wow, that one's really cool. You know, you can tell this one is the real deal.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks. You know, because I always had like pirated ass toys.
Yeah. I mean, you appreciate what you have more.
Exactly.
Because I had friends in the United States who like had every fucking thing you can imagine, and they're
Spoiled
as
brats.
children. They were as kids. They were spoiled brats, and now they're broken adults.
Really?
Goes to show you, don't be a spoiled brat, bitch ass kid.
Yeah. Don't buy your kid some fucking expensive ass toys.
Everything they want, because then they don't have motivation to like really try other shit.
Do you think that is something that happens only culturally, or is it because of the
It happens
power that they
more-
have because of the money, for example?
I mean, like imagine a really cuico kid here in Chile.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
now-
he gets whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
there's like a higher proportion of cuico kids in the United States that have the same things as the very cuico kids in Chile.
True.
So it's
True. See, and what do you think about now? You must have. You have friends that have kids?
starting
Yeah,
to.
Starting to.
Yeah.
That's scary, isn't
That
it?
whole very
Yeah.
exciting period in our lives. We're having a child.
Yeah.
Her
totally
name's
exciting.
Annie Lee.
Do you want to have kids ever?
Someday.
Have you ever thought about it? Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think I want to. I mean, not for the time being.
I want to be like an every other weekend dad. I think it'd be great.
Just go visit.
Yeah, because then I think about all the responsibilities of having a kid
Yeah.
and having one partner, and that freaks me out too.
And today it's having a partner, it's hard. And raising kids today is pretty fucked too.
Yeah.
Because I've heard it's really problematic because of the internet and all that shit. And also because I think a lot of kids are really spoiled now. Like they'll do whatever the fuck they want. I remember back in the day it was, ruled with an iron fist. Like I mean, at least when I was growing up, you didn't get whatever the fuck you wanted.
Corporal punishment.
Corporal punishment, yeah. Corporal punishment all the way, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that bit on Russell Peters where he talks about beating kids?
No, I haven't seen it.
No, you should see it, man. You know Russell Peters, though,
the
the
indie
comedian?
comedian,
Yeah. Oh, man, he has a bit really good on beating kids up. Because he would make the contrast from American kids and him that he's an Indian.
Yeah.
His family's Indian. And yeah, they would be like, no, there's no way, man. Like at home, your parents would beat you up for whatever. But here in America, they're like, yeah, fuck you, Dad. You know, like that doesn't happen.
I mean, kind of like the individualism of the United States manifests itself in like the really bad way, which is that, just like, fuck everything the parents tell me. I'll do whatever I want. I know best. It's me, all me.
Yeah.
You know, and
that also kind of sucks because you're kind of forced into an early independence. Do you find it to be that way? Because I find like here, there'll be a lot more kids that are, not kids actually, more young adults that live with their parents for longer.
like more mamon, yeah.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen in the States, at least from what I recall.
No, United States, like you turn 18,
You get the fuck out.
you go to college,
Yeah.
and try to pay for it if you can.
Yeah.
If you can't, then well, you got a loan.
I remember I met this one kid that his parents kicked him out when he was 18. They were like, really, man, like it's our time now. You know, we already raised you, you know?
We've been waiting to be empty nesters.
Yeah, no shit. No
Yeah?
shit. They were like, okay, buddy, you know, you're 18. We did all we could
This
with
is
you.
us.
Yeah, this is us now. This is our time. Now get the fuck out. I remember.
Wild.
I remember, yeah. I never see that happening here. Unless you're like a totally problematic kid.
No, I
Unless you're like a real piece of shit.
have a lot of Chilean friends. Yeah, they live with their parents in their late 20s, early 30s. And they have good relationships with their parents.
I used to live with a couple of girls that were 15 when I was like 19 or 20. And
Really?
I remember, yeah. When I moved to Canada, I lived with a couple of Canadian girls. They were like 15 or 16. They sold drugs and shit.
No fucking way. Are you kidding?
I swear to God, no.
That's
no.
nuts.
I know. And I remember talking to them about this, and I was like, look, I'm 19, pushing 20, and I don't like working and paying for bills, you know, and worrying about bills. I don't see how you, with fucking 15 years old, you want to do it.
That's nuts.
I know. And that's just the way that they were brought up.
That's like...
They were like,
man.
yeah, I'm going to leave my house. Fuck you, you know. But you're 15, man. You should be, you know, getting laid and shit. I mean, they did get laid, I guess. But, you know, paying for bills and shit, paying rent when you're 15. I don't know.
No, it's such a level of maturity that... Shoot. That's that Michael Jackson shit that'll come back to haunt you later. If you lose your childhood innocence too early.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, true. Then you're going to turn into Michael Jackson. So, conspiracy theories then. What do we got? Which one's the first one? You got some for me.
Okay, so Chile, ovnis.
OVNIs, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. UFOs.
God, that's awesome.
Unidentified flying objects. Have you seen any in your life here?
I've
or
seen,
anywhere,
like-
actually?
Okay, so I've seen things in the sky where it's like beyond the point that it's a helicopter. 'Cause
Okay.
It's like just staying
So,
still.
You've seen OVNIs. Objeto
I've seen
volador no
like things-
identificado.
But I haven't seen like it zigzagged across the sky and had
Yeah,
different...
no, me neither.
Okay, but I've seen like it's definitely not a satellite. Okay, the movement of the lights is in a certain pattern that's strange. That
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense.
I remember when I was first coming back to Chile, and I was telling like my classmates, I was like 9 years old or 10. I remember them telling me, "Oh, you're gonna go to Chile. There's a lot of aliens there. It's like an alien hotspot." I
Oh,
was like,
they
would tell
researched
me.
it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's
I was
cool.
like, I didn't even know that. You
Cool.
know, I'm going there, and I'm from there, and I had no fucking idea.
Wow.
But yeah, they told me it was an alien hotspot because of, I don't know, like the earthquakes and shit. They told me there's a lot of earthquakes and there's a lot of aliens.
Wow.
So be careful. You know?
And you're like, that's awesome. And then
Yeah,
they're like,
that's awesome.
but there's not a lot of Wi-Fi. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't
the Wi-Fi
go.
shot. True. No, I remember once I saw a UFO when I went camping. I remember that I went camping.
No way.
Yeah, I went camping. Fucking huge open sky. And I remember we were kids, right? We were like 15, so we would drink ourselves silly. And then I remember during the night I had to get up to throw up, like at 4 a.m.
Okay.
5 a.m. So I was outside, you know, retching my fucking guts out. And then I remember I saw in the sky, and I saw like 3 fucking lights moving like really weirdly. And I remember trying to wake the guys up, but they were all passed out. And,
Wow.
then I told everybody, and nobody believed me. They were like, "Yeah, you were fucking drunk, man. Come on, you know,
That's the thing, yeah.
you dreamt that shit." I'm like, "No, man, I didn't. I was fucking puking, man."
That's the
No,
thing. Like, I totally believe there's a lot of UFOs in Chile, but it seems like what starts out every UFO story in Chile from Chileans is like, well, I was drinking with friends and I was totally wasted.
It's always like that. Yeah, you're always drinking.
Then I stepped outside and I saw the crazy, like, yeah, I've heard a couple like that, yeah.
But alcohol here is like a big thing, though. Do you think? Do you think that we drink more than in the States?
It's true. The statistics said, I don't know, I saw it on like La Tercera.
Okay. All right.
So it was reputable. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. It's not El Dinamo.
Yeah. No, it said like volume of alcohol per capita in Chile is higher than any other South American country.
Yeah.
It's by far, yeah.
We drink a lot.
I think the next one's like Ecuador or something, but Chile definitely was clearly number one in drinking in South America.
See, there you go. Number one. Like, we're proud of that shit.
Yeah. Dos Copa America?
Yeah. True. Dos Copa America y alcoholismo. Yeah, I've heard, I mean, I know in the States, I remember I knew a lot of people that were like heavy drinkers. Canada too. But yeah, I think here, it just has to do with culture. Because I remember once, I don't know if I talked about this before, but I remember once I went bowling. They invited me to go bowling.
Bowling, okay. That's a very gringo activity.
Yeah, totally. They were like, yo, you want to go bowling? I'm like, all right. So I went with this chick I knew and a couple of her friends.
Yeah?
And when we got in the car, I said, so do they sell beer there? And then one of these girls turned around and like, that's how I can tell you're fucking Latin American, man. Because everything that you guys do, you have to add alcohol to it one way or another.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I guess. You know, it was pretty unflattering. But
It's just a beer. You weren't saying like, oh, can you get some Jack Daniels or something?
Yeah,
it's a beer.
It's a beer, right? And I was like, yeah. But they were like, yeah, so for you guys, it's always like, well, can we drink while we do it? You know? I guess it's kind of true, man. I mean, if it wasn't noon now, we'd be drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've already popped off a couple.
Yeah,
before
exactly.
I came here, so.
Really?
Yeah.
You already drank today?
No. Last night I drank some, but no.
Oh, okay, yeah, but last night, that doesn't count. So UFOs. So do you believe that there is life beyond planet Earth?
Yeah. It's hard to define like what that life is.
Uh-huh.
Is it like little green
men?
Man that like
With the wide eyes
when
and
it
shit?
like, yeah, like removed your kidneys and like harvest a new species or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stories, and it's really cool that a lot of that mystery like centers in Chile.
True.
I saw an episode of the show. It's called OVNI on TVN.
Yeah, that one's a really old show.
It's a fucking good show.
It's really good, yeah, but it's old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it came out in, I think, 2001, the episode that I saw.
Okay.
And it was of a guy who was in Cajón de Maipo.
Right?
And he's like an electrician, like 31-year-old, normal-ass, like, dude, Chilean.
Okay.
And he was camping with a few German people, and he was like telling the story of what happened. And he's like, I was on Cajón de Maipo, like they left, and he was like, I was just hanging out, camping here, pretty much by myself now.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, then I woke up and I saw some lights, and he said he like disappeared for a few hours and came back.
He disappeared.
He disappeared.
Oh,
he was
shit.
abducted. Yeah.
Okay.
And so he's like, I don't remember really anything that happened when I was abducted, but he's like, he was sure that he was abducted. So they took him to a hypnotherapist.
Okay.
Yeah. If you guys want to see his episode, it's episode 1, season 2 of OVNI.
There you go. Episode 1, season 2 of OVNI. All right. Is it on YouTube?
It's the number one. It has like almost 400,000 views on YouTube.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. It's like by far the most seen episode of the show. And yeah, he goes to the hypnotherapist, and they like put him in a trance, and he starts speaking like he's like sleeping basically. So then he starts like convulsing, like moving his body. And the hypnotherapist is like, okay, now tell me, like, dime, ¿qué sientes? ¿Qué te está pasando? And then he's like, the lights are coming, and there's these very tall men, and there's this guy with long white hair. It's like, y es hermoso.
Okay. So he's a faggot.
No.
No, I know. Okay. So he was talking about like some beautiful guy. What was it, like Gandalf?
Kind of, yeah. That's the way he described it, yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, me acerca, y es bueno. And then it's like, he is taken onto the ship, and they take him to like this city. It's golden, and there's like children that are playing in the city. And it turns out like this is a being of light or something.
Okay.
And then the hypnotherapist is getting freaked out by what he's hearing.
Whoa.
And so the hypnotherapist, because the guy who's, as he's going under the spell, the
trance,
the trance, he starts speaking a different language.
Holy shit! And this is like just some normal ass dude.
Normal ass. Like, me gusta jugar pichanga, lo paso bien con mis amigos, y una vez fue abducido por los extraterrestres.
That's his resume right there.
Like, totally normal guy. They establish him really well in the show. Yeah, as being normal.
Wow, and he starts speaking in tongues. And
he starts speaking in tongues. And then all of a sudden, he's channeling this extraterrestrial that had abducted him. He's channeling this. And then the hypnotherapist asks the extraterrestrial questions about, like, and is there a greater God? And the extraterrestrial says, like, well, what is God to you? And it's like,
whoa, that's some deep shit right there.
Yeah. And it's like he has some good answers to stuff. And the guy's like, are we mortal? The hypnotherapist, because now he's like, it's all about him now.
His curiosity. Yeah, he wants to know what's going on.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? So he asks, like, and are we mortal beings or do we live forever? And or no, he says we're mortal beings. We die, and that's the end. And the channeled like spirit is like, with that attitude, do you expect to learn anything?
Like, no way.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Like, wildly good answers to these deep questions. It's nuts.
And holy crap, I gotta watch that shit, man.
And then the crazier thing too is the guy's like, so what are you? If you're this, like, being of light, where do you come from? And I'm a man of the Bible. Like, is there any way you can explain this to me that I'll understand? And this channeled spirit thing tells him, like, look up this chapter, this verse. And he does. And it's like, big beings have come to the earth to, like, we are your older brothers. Or something like that.
No
then
way.
We, like, help place you. And it's the exact right passage in the Bible.
No way.
Yes.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. It's nuts.
I'm a believer, man.
And it was the most...
Then I saw her face, and I'm a believer.
And then...
Whoa, that's crazy.
It was the most powerful evidence of somebody, like, going through a regression that I've ever seen. Yeah.
So there was this documentary on Netflix. I saw it once. Man, it was called Extraordinary.
Yeah?
Here, actually, let me look it up because it's the name of some guy. Extraordinary.
Is it like extra, parentheses, ordinary? Like, he's just an ordinary guy, but he's pretty extraordinary too.
Right. No. It was called... Here it is. Extraordinary. The Stan Romanek Story. Okay. So it used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it's there anymore. Maybe you should check it out. And it was about this guy that said that he had been abducted by the aliens too. Yeah. So I started watching it, and at the beginning, it was like really gripping. I remember watching it, and the guy would say, "Well, I had a problem because he lived in like some secluded area where he was like really prone to seeing UFOs all the time and shit."
Cool.
So there was once this occasion because he had outside. I don't know how you call them in English, but there are these lights with motion tracking, I guess. These lights just go on as soon as something passes by. Oh, yeah. Right? Okay, so they're activated like by motion or something. And also he had a camera outside for whatever the reason. And then there's this one day that light, the sensor light, just explodes out of nowhere. You know, like totally explodes.
Okay, and the dog's barking. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you know, like some shit like that. So he gets all freaked out about it, and he calls like the company that set the motion tracking whatever thing. Okay. He calls them and he's like, "Hey, yesterday this shit exploded, so can you come fix it, please?" So then he says that afterwards, a lot of people went over there, like trucks and trucks of people that the supposed company sent just to change that light of his. So immediately he was like weirded out, because there was a lot of people just to change a fucking thing that wasn't that complicated to begin with.
All in black suits.
All in black suits, for real.
Oh, really?
Then, like in black suits and shit, like Men in Black type of shit. Yeah. Cool. And then he said that he had learned like the name of one of the people, or he looked up a license plate or whatever, and it belonged to the FBI.
Wow.
Yeah, so he started getting like really freaked out about all this kind of shit, and then some other weird stuff occurred, and then they would call him at night. At night he would pick up the phone, and there were like these ethereal sounds, and they would be like, "We have chosen you to come over for whatever." And every day, and they would show these audios, and they were like really convincing.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting,
And I'm
yeah.
like, wow, that's really interesting. But then the guy, he shows like a picture. Oh, it looks so fucking phony, man. It looks terrible.
That whole thing is like, you need just one piece of bad evidence and all these
Yeah.
things, and the whole thing falls apart. Yeah.
It was terrible. It was terrible. And then he filmed like a supposed alien that came to his house. Man, it just looked fucking terrible as well. Like a puppet, you know? So as I was watching it, I got curious and I looked it up, and it turns out that the guy is a pedophile. He had been convicted for like being a pedophile.
And the aliens were children.
They were kid aliens. So allegedly, this is a guy that is so fucked up and that he's a pedophile that he made up all this shit about aliens, that supposedly he knew so much about aliens that the FBI started planting evidence of him being a pedophile.
Oh, really? Okay. So,
According to him.
yeah. Okay. So it worked out.
So yeah. So from there it was kind of fishy.
Okay.
But I had paused it and I looked it up on the internet on my phone.
Yeah.
And then I continued watching it. There was one so funny that he woke up and his wife found him on the sofa in a woman's dress and with makeup, like a cross-dresser.
That's the aliens.
I swear to God.
He said it was the aliens.
He said that he was abducted. That they took all his clothes. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you.
No.
I'm not kidding you. He was abducted. They took all his clothes. And then when they wanted to bring him back, well, I guess they found nothing better than a fucking dress. So they dressed him.
That's all we got.
So from then on, it was just
I'm sorry,
so funny.
man. We know your wife's going to hate you for this, but we got to send you off.
Yeah.
Sorry
so
about
he was
it.
already like an alleged pedophile, and he had been, you know, like, I guess he was gay too and a cross-dresser. But yeah, they found him dressed in women's clothing. No, it was the alien.
Oh, no,
So
man.
from then on, it just went downhill like that. And at the beginning, it was so promising. But then it's just really funny. Like, if you watch it for its comedic value, it's really funny. Really, really funny.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he
Nice.
always has like all this shit that he brings up. He's like, come on,
But is that part of the
man.
same documentary?
Yeah, it's part of the same documentary. The whole women's clothes thing, it's in the documentary, man.
Yeah?
Like, and he has a straight face too.
And he's wearing a dress, as he said.
That would have been awesome. He's like, yeah, well, this one time my wife found me wearing women's clothing, and it was the aliens. Like, I was abducted, and since they brought me back, and since they couldn't leave me naked, well, they just chose a dress for me and put it on me.
I wonder if it's like
you gotta watch it, man.
I wonder if it's
Man.
like when they created this documentary, they believed like, okay, we got this guy who's
Well, the people that did the documentary truly believe in his innocence, because then at the end
Yeah?
they're like, okay, we know that by now you've heard all these stories about him being a pedophile, but check this out. And then they show like screenshots or newspaper clippings of people that have been also convicted pedophiles that were also connected to UFO sightings. And then it ends like, will you believe everything the media has said? You know, like, come
no,
on,
not the
man.
false media card.
Yeah, right? The false media. Jesus Christ, the fake news.
yeah.
It's so funny, man. Like, I think, just say you're gay, man. Like, I mean, if you're a pedophile, no, but, you know, I guess he just had some issues. But it's so funny.
It's pretty wild that there's a story behind it.
Yeah, and it's an actual documentary, too.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and really funny. You gotta watch it, man. Extraordinary, the Stan Romanek story. That's what it's called. It's fucking hilarious.
I still think that of all like the conspiracies that are interesting to hear about, the OVNIs is like gotta be one of the most interesting ones.
Yeah, well, I mean, it has to be grounded on something. I don't think somebody was like that bright and said, yeah, I think that they're like, I don't know if they're little green men. Have you ever seen this movie? What's it called? Is it called Abduction? Abduction, the McPherson family.
Oh, right. It's like one of the few movies that tries to film the abduction scene. I've seen the scene of the abduction. Yeah.
It's a found footage movie. It's called I think it's the McPherson family, something like that. I remember I used to watch it on TV all the time. And the first time I saw it, I was totally fucking freaked out about it. I was a kid though. I remember now. It's called Abduction in Lake County. Have you ever seen it?
Nah.
Here, let me look it up. Maybe you have. Abduction in Lake. Here it is. Alien abduction incident in Lake County. Have you ever seen it?
Nah.
I remember when I was a kid, they used to pass it all the time in La Red on Channel 4.
Okay.
So it's these guys that are on Thanksgiving. They're having like a Thanksgiving, and then they're abducted by aliens by the end. And it's a found footage movie. It's supposed to be like the kid is filming like the Thanksgiving, and then they have a power outage, so they go and look at the fuse. And when
That's
they
cool.
look
It's okay, so it's like a Blair Witch.
it's like the Blair Witch.
Cool.
Totally.
Cool.
Totally. Yeah. It's really good. I remember when I was a kid, I was really freaked out. I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time. Maybe you see it now and it's total
It's interesting
bullshit.
because I would consider Blair Witch to be the first found footage documentary movie.
That was like the most popular one.
Okay, but there were ones, this was before that.
This one was before that.
Cool.
But what's gay about this one, though, is that, okay, you're watching it, and it's really cool, and it has you, like, really interested, but then they'll cut, and they'll show some fucking douchebag, I don't know, a cop. Yeah, I remember that incident years ago. Yeah, we still don't know where they are. And then they go back to, like, the movie. Like, really, man? Like, if there is an edit of the movie without those fucking assholes in between,
okay,
it would be totally good. And then I remember, they were showing, like, some whatever random crap, and then they cut. And some guy like with long hair, I've been working in the film industry for 20 years, and that you just saw, it's not possible to do today with today's technology. Like, come on, man, they're not showing anything.
It's tough. I mean, I feel like maybe if that was it's the first start of the opening of the found footage films, like the Blair Witch fucking nailed it with like creating a mythology, and making people believe.
Exactly.
And from the marketing campaign too, that they had like a website that it was like the Blair Witch is coming and things like that.
Well, yeah, the Blair Witch is like the first case in which they realized the power of the internet.
Yeah.
Because they made up a website and a lot of people believed it was real. I remember
they believed
that
the movie was real.
It was real, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
When it came out and
Did you watch it in the theater?
Yeah, my dad took me to see it and I was horrified for weeks afterward.
Me too, man. Me too. It was fucked up.
That's a scary movie. That's one of the scariest movies I've seen to this day.
Yeah.
And it's like filmed very close to where I was born.
Really? You're from Maryland?
I'm from Pennsylvania, so just like...
So it's like pretty close by.
Yeah. I mean, those woods, I'm sure I've been through those woods a few times at least. Yeah.
No way.
And Boy Scouts and stuff, yeah. And it's nuts. I mean, to capture, because camping is a kind of a creepy thing. Especially
it's totally creepy.
The Appalachian, like in Pennsylvania, that mountain range.
Uh-huh.
I just like between the noises and... I don't know. Some woods are creepier than others.
It's true.
And there's something about that woods. There's like the one in Japan, right, where like everyone commits suicide.
The suicide forest?
The suicide forest? Yeah, that one's a creepy forest too.
Yeah, I would never go there.
There's just some places, some forests are just being alone there. It freaks you out. And then throwing on top of that the idea of there's these witches.
Yeah.
And they don't actually show the witches, which is so brilliant.
I know. It's awesome. Well, you know that famous scene when they're running after the kids hit them in the tent and they go running?
Yeah.
Have you seen it like multiple times? The Blair Witch?
I mean, I've probably seen it like 2 or 3 times.
Oh, okay. I've seen it many, many times. Well, there's this part where they're running, right? And Heather's running. And she says, "Oh my God, what the fuck is that?" And they show like the camera gets all movie and shit, but you can't see fuck all.
They show a witch there?
No, they show a guy in wrapped up like a mummy.
No way.
Yeah. Do you know like the whole behind the scenes thing of that movie?
I know it costs like no money. It costs like
$25,000.
$25,000.
And it made like 80 million. Like holy fuck.
It's the greatest ratio of all time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So, but do you know how they went on filming it?
I know like they didn't tell the people who were in the film what was happening.
Exactly.
Right? They would just give them like Post-it notes.
Yeah.
As to what they're supposed to do.
They would give them, so they had a GPS thing going on, and they would send them every day certain coordinates. They would be like, okay, so from today you have to hike from here to here. Yeah. And when you reach the coordinates, they would find a pack with food, water, and an envelope for each one of the guys. So, for example, Josh would open his, and he'd say, okay, now, Josh, you have to start being, I don't know, more neurotic. Or, Heather, you have to start doing this. And they would give them, like, guidelines. They had no actual script.
That's nuts.
I know. But today, in today's standards, that borders fucking torture. Because they had no idea when they were making all the noises with the branches and shit. They had no idea.
Wow.
So they grab like their actual. That's why they pull it off so well.
Yeah, and
because
like
they are actually freaked out.
And they're not actors that have appeared in more things since then. Like the people in Blair Witch, I'm pretty sure just did Blair Witch.
No, I know that the guy Josh has done some other shit. I saw him in a TV show. I can't remember. It's like one of these like Law and Order, like one of those types of shows.
Okay, but they haven't become big Hollywood actors, right?
No.
Yeah. I mean,
and with those acting skills, they should have.
Yeah,
you know.
Well,
but the truth is that
they were put in weird circumstances that brought out.
And then by the end of the shoot, they would give them less food, so that they would start getting.
It's so brilliant.
It's brilliant, but it's kind of abusive at the same time.
I guess, but if it makes a good movie like that,
yeah.
Sometimes you need to fucking fuck with people to make really good stuff.
Yeah, they had no idea what the fuck was going on.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Then-
Like they would tell some people like, okay, you know, we're gonna do, but they would never tell them exactly what was gonna go on. The whole scene with the kids when they hit them in the tent, it was these guys with boom boxes. They put like radios with fucking kids crying.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's nuts. It's a really good movie, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new one? Have you seen the new one?
Yeah, I saw the
it's
remake.
Total shit.
God,
is
so
it
disappointing.
fucking awful. Yeah.
So disappointing.
Yeah, I remember being not totally hyped up. I remember when I was a kid, I was obsessed with the Blair Witch Project. I loved it. I drew comics about it, everything.
Yeah?
I knew like the whole
mythology and everything?
Yeah, I knew everything behind it. Yeah, I loved it. And so yeah, when the new Blair Witch was announced, I was pretty hyped, but it was so garbage.
It just like I remember the premise wasn't strong enough. It was like, well,
supposedly it was like this girl's brother or something.
no, it was the dude's sister, right?
Oh, the dude's sister, right, yeah.
He like
Heather.
he sees the image of her
Yeah.
when like someone else does an expedition.
Yeah,
and he
something
sees
like
but he
that.
sees her in the mirror.
In the mirror.
And it's super lame. Like you can barely see her, and he's like, there, "She's there. We have to all go."
Yeah,
in
we
our
have
team.
to all go. Yeah, and she disappeared like many years ago, and for some reason she was going to be looking just exactly the way.
And like, how strong would his relationship be with his sister?
Exactly.
If she disappeared, like 20 years before.
Exactly right.
He, like, barely knew her.
Now you want and
Yeah,
and
no,
now
he
you
was
want to go.
5 years old. Like, not he's gonna risk his life.
Yeah, to go to some haunted ass place. Yeah. Well, the McPherson, the Abduction in Lake County, that one's pretty much like the Blair Witch Project.
Okay, cool.
It's not as good though, but I remember watching it when I was a kid. I would get really freaked out about it.
Yeah.
Because also, yeah, so they have Thanksgiving and then they blow a fuse or whatever, and they go outside to check the fuse box, and then right out of nowhere they see like this alien spaceship. And
That's
then
cool,
when
but
they
it's
see
like a
them-
moving camera and like
Yeah, it's a homemade.
like
It's homemade.
Cloverfield kind of
like Cloverfield. Do you like Cloverfield, the first one?
The first one's great.
Yeah, the other
Loved
ones
it.
are crap.
I thought the second one, what was it? The sequel. The first sequel.
That
Before the
one's
Netflix movie.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
That one's good. Yeah,
Pretty
with
good.
Ramona Flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ends really lame, but I thought the build-up was nice.
The build-up is really nice. Yeah, but do you know that wasn't supposed to be a Cloverfield movie though?
No, I didn't know that.
No, J.J. Abrams picked it up and he said this movie is really good, but just like that, it won't make enough money.
Okay.
However, if we tie it up with Cloverfield, which is an already existing franchise, then it'll
That's
do
why
well.
they tacked on the ending.
Yeah.
Because they were like, well, it's
The
got to
ending
still be a
totally ruins
Cloverfield.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the ending
why.
fucking sucks. Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like, we need a monster thing at the end to
Yeah.
freak people out and make it Cloverfield.
Did you watch the third one, the Cloverfield Paradox?
That's
which was
on Netflix?
Uh-huh.
No, I didn't see it.
Don't watch it.
Okay.
It's horrible.
I know, I read it was terrible, yeah.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Totally horrible. Yeah, and that one also, that was supposed to be a movie that was called God Particle.
Okay.
And also, they were the studio were like, yeah, it works, but it's not going to make enough money. However, if we attach it to the Cloverfield franchise, then it'll make.
They like knocked on the door, like, can we make this one a Black Mirror?
Yeah,
And the
no
guys
shit.
watching like, this is so far from the quality of a Black Mirror, and they're like, okay, Cloverfield.
True. Yeah, Cloverfield Paradox sucks. But Abduction in Lake County, what I was getting at is that also a lot of people thought it was real. Actually, when it ends, there's like a picture of the people. Like, if you have seen these people, please call us or whatever.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's so effective to do that and freak people out that way.
It is.
Especially
totally
before
effective.
the internet or the dawn of the internet, before people could confirm it.
And I remember watching, there's this one part where they go outside and then they have like a huge house and they have like these windows that they have like in the ceiling.
Yeah.
And they look around and there's something that scatters inside, like an alien. But then I remember a friend of mine, he had, way back in the day, he had like editing equipment, his dad or whatever.
So they would, like, he'd slow motion?
Yeah, so he would freeze frame it and then zoom it in and it's a Nike sneaker.
Oh, yeah?
And it's like, fuck. Yeah,
That's
it
just funny.
killed it all.
It still could be the alien.
Yeah. A fashion alien.
Yeah.
So, what other conspiracy theories have we got?
There's
what else have you
one.
brought for me?
There's one that I thought was really funny. I remember my ex-girlfriend, Chilena, she believes in, she loved conspiracies.
Okay.
She believed them with
Heart to heart.
all her fucking heart.
Okay.
God bless her heart.
Okay. Okay.
And she believed in mermaids.
Really?
Like
Como la
100.
Pink Oya.
La Pink Oya, is that a Chilean?
Yeah, that's a Chilean mermaid. Allegedly, if you see her, then you're gonna have like a good fishing season. I'm not actually 100% sure. Hold on, let me just check that out just in case.
Because if you were to see a mermaid, it would change your conception of reality. It's just like, but a little cherry on top of a nice fishing season. Like,
Okay, so here I got it. I'm gonna have to translate it though. The Pink Oya is, according to local mythology, a female water spirit of the Chilotan seas. The Pink Oya is said to have long blonde hair, be of incomparable beauty, be cheerful and sensual, and rise from the depths of the sea.
Cool.
Naked and pure, she personifies the fertility of marine species. Through her ritual dance, she provides the Chilote, people from Chiloé.
Oh, on a ritual dance. I want to see that.
Yeah, with an abundance or deficiency of fish and seafood. If she performs her dance facing the sea, it means that these shores will have an abundance of fish. When she dances facing the mountains, her back to the sea, seafood will be scarce.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so she isn't actually a mermaid, but it's sort of like that. So she believed in mermaids, your girlfriend?
So you got to look at the hips. If
There
her
you
hips
go.
are facing,
Yeah.
you got to look at the hips.
Yeah.
Not the shoulders, it's
Not
the hips.
shoulders.
That'll
yes.
tell you.
True.
All right.
So your girlfriend, she believed in mermaids.
She believed in mermaids, and she told me, there's this documentary you got to see. It'll make you believe. Because I was like, mermaids, that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's this guy who's like, at the beginning, it's a news reporter, totally serious. And he says, like, there have been more and more sightings of mermaids worldwide. And yeah, it's very professional. It's like, okay. And he's like, first we're going to show you this sighting that happened recently in like the Philippines.
Okay.
And it's just quick footage of people like on jet skis or something, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, like you can see a flipper kind of.
Okay.
But it's very fast, so
Yeah.
you can't tell.
Yeah.
And it goes through 3 or 4 different places of like, here we are now, we're in the Mediterranean Sea, and there's something, and each time they show a little more of the mermaid. I'm like, okay, maybe,
yeah.
there could be something.
Uh-huh.
And then it gets to one that's like, clearly false. Clearly false.
Yeah.
And it's like they show it's like they were deep sea diving, and all of a sudden the camera turns around and boom, there's the mermaid, and it stops for a second, you know.
Uh-huh. And it looks fake as fuck?
And it looks fake enough that I was like, especially because that was back in like, 2012.
Uh-huh.
So the special effects then are pretty bad. Some of them.
True, yeah.
I mean, even to this day, they're still, very bad special effects. But it was clear that it was false. And that put everything in doubt. So I told her that, like, if this one's fake, and she agreed, like, that one looked fake. So
Yeah.
I'm like, that means the whole thing is in doubt.
Yeah.
If one's bad,
Yeah,
and they
then-
try to pass it off as normal, then the whole thing's fucked.
Yeah, true.
And she was like, no, but the other ones seem pretty... Like, no, that's not how it works. If they're trying to present one argument. So then I researched it afterwards, and it was actually a documentary that came out on Sci-Fi. And,
come on.
And it
All
was...
right.
But they presented it as being 100% real.
Okay.
And people believed it.
Uh-huh.
And it was just to show the gullibility
Cool.
of people. It was just made to show that people would believe dumb shit.
It's like the Banzai Cats. Have
Okay.
you ever heard of those?
Nah.
The Banzai Cats? Oh, check this shit out. This one was... I don't know if it happened in the States. I'm pretty sure it did. So...
Banzai cats, like a bonsai tree combined
Right.
with a cat.
They were called like that, gato bonsai. They were supposed to be in Japan. So check this out.
Wow.
So for the people that aren't watching, these are buken gatos bonsai. And so allegedly what they would do is that if you had a kitten actually,
Yeah.
from really early, if you put them into a bottle, then when they grew, their bodies would shape like the bottle. So you would have a bottle-shaped cat. I swear
That's
to God.
cruel.
It's cruel. It's totally cruel. But people believed in it. Here, Bonsai Kitten was a hoax website that claimed to provide instructions on how to grow a kitten in a jar, so as to mold the bones of the kitten into the shape of the jar as the cat grows, much like how a bonsai plant is shaped. I remember it was like
Wow.
these email chains. I remember getting them, like
Yeah.
your instructions on, and that was done. Here it is. It was made by an MIT University student going by the alias of Dr. Michael Wong Chang.
And they do it just to show that people will
That
believe
people
it.
will believe whatever the fuck is on the internet, I guess. And those, this happened like in the early 2000s. Yeah, at the end of year 2000, especially in the United States, it said. But you never heard about it.
I mean, now they couldn't release something like that. People
No.
would get freaked out.
Yeah.
I mean, people would say it's like, inhumane.
Yeah, totally inhumane. Yeah.
Which it is.
It is. Yeah, but also it's fake.
Okay.
Yeah, like, so don't try to put your kittens in a jar, people.
Yeah.
It will not work.
They're flexible.
Yeah,
But not that flexible.
Not that flexible. So, should we go for a pause right now?
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll come back? All right. So we're back with more Today y la Tomorrow.
Today not tomorrow.
Today y la Tomorrow. After we went to go and take a nice piss that we needed.
Glorious.
Glorious piss. And we're back with more conspiracy theories. We should talk about the reptilians. Have you ever heard of that? Los reptilianos.
That's an interesting one. Yeah.
What are they supposed to be? Are they like the presidents and shit?
They're like those that pull the strings, the Illuminati, right?
Oh, but the Illuminati and the reptilians, are they the same?
I think a lot of conspiracy theorists try to say, well, I guess they're two different things. Some of them lump it together and just say like there's a ruling elite that like are reptilians.
The New World Order.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to be taken like literally that like the people that rule the world are reptilian aliens, but it might be like part of their brain. Like we all have a reptilian brain, right? And like maybe they're ruled more by their rule and conquer reptilian brain part than other. Maybe that's what it is.
Because here they say reptilian aliens, the master shapeshifters. No other alien species strike as much fear in the human psyche as the reptilian. These beings, snake-like in appearance and malevolent by nature, are the stuff of nightmares. It is possible that reptilian humanoids are the source of the devils and demonic entities who have tormented humanity since early history? It's a question. Many alien researchers and contactees...
Is it possible?
Yeah, it's a question, man.
Nice.
Many alien researchers and contactees postulate that these lizard creatures may have been the mythological creatures spoken of in numerous ancient religious texts and folk beliefs.
Is it possible that they've doomed humanity forever?
Is it
so
possible
nonchalant
that they're gonna,
the question?
Yeah, true. Is it possible that they're going to totally fuck us over?
Maybe.
There are also claims that the snake from the Genesis was in fact a reptilian being who convinced Eve to break her oath to God by tasting the forbidden fruit of knowledge. Could these myths be interpretations of reptilian humanoids suited for the time, place, and circumstance around ancient moments of contact? Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't really believe it, to be honest.
I mean, there's always videos on like YouTube and stuff where it's like Barack Obama looks to the left.
Yeah,
clearly
his
he's a reptilian.
Yeah, his eye like gets all glitchy or whatever. Yeah, I've seen some shit like that. Yeah, supposedly like the whole elite and the opulence, they're all like from another planet.
But the question is like, well, okay, so where is like the cutoff to like this is the Illuminati? Like this is the Illuminati. These are the reptilians.
Okay,
like,
well,
what level of celebrity and or power do you have to reach?
Right.
Because like Bill Gates, he has as much power as anybody.
Yeah,
right.
And supposedly he's like a really
he like donates a lot of his money.
Yeah, he's like a normal ass guy.
Yeah. Like from what I've seen of Barack Obama, like I can't like speak about his politics and everything, but just as a human being, he's a normal guy. Like,
right.
He watches Chappelle's show. He has a wife.
Right. He watches Chappelle's show. Yeah, I love
he
that
likes to watch sports sometimes. Like, he seems like there's a normal human being behind it all.
Exactly. Yeah. The Illuminati is a name given to several groups, both real and fictitious. Historically, the name usually refers to the Bavarian Illuminati, an Enlightenment-era secret society founded on the 1st of May of 1776. The society's goals were to oppose superstition, obscurantism, religious influence over public life, and abuses of state power.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. So then why are they the bad guys?
Yeah. It was like they were there to bring down the institutions.
Yeah. Why are they the bad guys? The order of the day, they wrote in their general statutes, is to put an end to the machinations of the purveyors of injustice, to control them without dominating them. The Illuminati, along with Freemasonry and other secret societies, were outlawed through edict by the Bavarian ruler Charles Theodore, with the encouragement of the Catholic Church in 1784, 1785, and 1790. In the following several years, the group was vilified by conservative and religious critics who claimed that they continued underground and were responsible for the French Revolution. Oh, so that's why they're being made to be the bad guys.
Yeah.
But do you think that they still exist today? I mean, they could.
I think definitely secret societies exist.
Of course, yeah.
My buddy went to Dickinson, like a small school in Pennsylvania, which is sort of not elitist, but it's like upper echelon of the schools there. And he joined a secret society. Yeah.
Really?
And he said there were some weird rituals and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he had to like masturbate in a coffin simultaneously with a couple other people in the... No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, what the fuck? Masturbate in a coffin with some other people? Jesus Christ.
No, nothing like that, but there are definitely some weird secret societies. And presidents... Well, there's one in Harvard. What is it called? That George Bush was in. And
let me look it up.
Oh God, yeah. There's a couple in like upper Ivy League kind of schools.
Well, yeah, I know that George Washington was supposedly a Freemason.
Okay.
And the whole dollar bill, you know that it has behind like the Illuminati shit. Yeah, the all-seeing eye or whatever.
That's interesting.
So here you have 20 U.S. presidents who belong to shadowy secret societies. Are there any movies with remotely blah, blah, blah? George Washington, Freemason, see? And Thomas Jefferson was part of the FHC Society at the College of William and Mary. I don't know what the fuck that is. The initials FHC stood for Fraternitas Humanitas et Cognitio, Latin for Brotherhood, Humanity, and Knowledge. However, the group became known as the Flat Hat Club, probably a reference to the mortarboards all students wore in those days. Yeah, I mean, yeah, secret societies do, but do they have the power? I mean, they could.
I think.
Have you ever seen House of Cards?
Couple episodes.
There was this one episode where Frank Underwood goes like to a meeting that they hold in this weird ass forest.
Okay.
Like once a year, and they're like all the like the big wigs of the world. You know, like
really?
Like the owner of Walmart. You know, the president of the states and shit like that. And allegedly they would all like get fucked up on booze and hookers and shit like that.
I could totally see that happening. I could totally see that.
Why not? Like you got all the fucking money in the world.
But yeah, at the end of the day, like I'm still imagining they're human beings. Like
true. I mean, what happens to me with like most conspiracy theories? I remember I read once this quote from Alan Moore, the comic book writer.
Well, he did Watchmen
and V for Vendetta. You ever read any of those?
Watchmen, yeah.
Yeah, really good. Fuck, it's good. He used to say, there was this one quote, I don't even know if it actually came from him, but I did see it quoted by him, that he said that people created conspiracies because it was a way for people to grasp the fact that everything was under control. That everything had to be controlled some way, instead of facing the harsh truth that the world is anarchic.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
chaos.
what it is.
Yeah,
that's what Terence McKenna said. The same thing.
Who's Terence McKenna? Terence
McKenna was like a modern philosopher who did a lot of drugs and would like go to colleges in the United States and give speeches.
Okay,
and you want to see his speeches on YouTube? Some are awesome.
Terence McKenna. I'm going to write him down. I might.
He's done every drug under the sun, and he's got great stories about all of them.
Really? Cool.
And like weird demonic kind of drugs. And other ones where like you're blasted off in some kind of crazy
trip,
comet of consciousness, and who knows.
Okay.
But yeah, he talked about like a lot of people like to imagine, like, isn't it comforting to think that the Jews run everything, or that there's some group of reptilians? He's like, the truth is far more terrifying, everybody. Like, this is a runaway train, and there's no use in trying to control it, because it's going to do whatever the fuck it wants to.
Yeah. See, that's a good way of seeing it. Like, okay, the Twin Towers.
That's one of the...
Were you there in the States when it happened?
Dare I say sexier conspiracy theories.
That one's sexy, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you in the States when it happened?
Yeah.
I was here in Chile.
I was in the United States when it happened, and it's still very like a day that stands out to me, very much so. And
why?
Because my aunt worked in the Pentagon.
Holy shit.
She worked in the Pentagon. When like the plane or whatever you think flew into whatever it was, or a missile that was in the form of a plane.
In the form of a plane, yeah.
Flew into the Pentagon. She actually she decided to go for a walk.
Holy shit.
And it hit exactly like where she was working, and it killed her boss and a few of her coworkers.
No fucking way.
Yeah, and then apparently she just like grabbed her high heels and like just ran home. She like took off her shoes and just ran home in bare feet.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. I remember my mom, because I used to live really close to the Twin Towers, but I came back to Chile in 96. So yeah, I wasn't there when it happened. But it's scary to think, because my mom and my dad, actually, they both worked in New York.
Yeah.
And I remember going with my mom to the Twin Towers a couple of times. Yeah. Because I remember, what did they do there in those buildings? I know that you did like some sort of, what was it, like legal shit?
The World Trade Centers?
No, I mean the Twin Towers. What did you actually do in them?
I think there are like a lot of
administrative buildings, something like that.
I don't know if administration, but I don't know, like people that worked within the government. It had to do with international relations, something like that.
I remember my mom going there once. Maybe it had something to do like with immigration or something.
But you could go there. You could go to them.
Yeah. Well, Macaulay Culkin went to the top.
Yeah.
In Home Alone 2. So what do you think about that one?
That also, like, just as a side note, 9/11 stands out to me because, like, it was in some ways an end of a certain period of my childhood because it happened when I was like 12.
Okay.
And so, like, that was
like a wake-up call?
Kind of. Like, you changed. Like, when you're starting, like, I don't know, middle school and everything, like, your life is changing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 9/11 happens, and it's like, you realize that the world is a different place than what you had imagined. And so that's why it definitely stands out to me as well. Like, and I feel like a lot of people in the United States who are, like, millennials also, like, it has that sort of effect on them. Like, it changed the way a lot of people looked at things. Not necessarily for bad. Like,
yeah.
Instead of being
here
in the bubble,
September 11
right?
is also like an important date. Because of Pinochet and all that
the Golpe de Estado, which is, that's a really ironic one.
I know, right?
Because the image of the bombing of La Moneda is so fucking eerily similar to the planes going into the Twin Towers.
Yeah, and the states were involved in both of them.
Yeah. That's like almost karmic, I think.
Yeah, I know.
I hate to go to that conclusion.
I know, I understand. We're ruminating. But yeah. But do you think it was like an inside job and all that shit that they say?
I don't know. I mean, it really blows my mind that, like, on the top documentaries of Netflix, Zeitgeist and Zeitgeist Addendum, which are 100% in support of it being an inside job.
Yeah.
Those are like the top 2 or 3 documentaries that are streamed on Netflix. Like, that's insane.
It's insane.
That's nuts. So, I don't know. My personal belief is, like, it's just so hard to get so many people to do something like that.
True.
And then still have it be a secret for as long as it was. I think they might have known something was going to happen. And
See, that's what I think too.
I bet he let it. They might have been like, yeah, hands off.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's what happened. Yeah, I'm not saying that he totally caught him by surprise or anything like that, but to get to do it themselves.
Yeah, I think from the beginning of the administration, like it said before in the documentaries of Zeitgeist and stuff, where they say there's quotes from military leaders saying we're missing a good enough reason to go into the Middle East. Like, we need some kind of smoking gun that gives us a reason to go into the Middle East because there's oil. You know? Like,
yeah.
Remember, guys, there's a lot of oil in the Middle East. Yeah. And we love it. We love petroleum.
Even though they have a fucking surplus of it.
Yeah. Even though... but that because it's such an important resource and imperialism still rules to some extent to this day, they said that before Bush got to his presidency.
Yeah.
Like, if a terrorist attack happens or something that gives us enough of a reason to go to the Middle East, like, that's what's missing.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing Bush got some information about there might be something that's attack that's being planned.
Yeah.
And he might have just kind of crossed his arms, you know?
Right. Yeah, I kind of think it goes that way too. I don't think they did it to themselves. I don't know. I just find that like really nuts. No, it's nuts.
It's not easy to like get a gun, like point it at your chest.
Right.
Like, it's not easy to, or I don't know. I guess like metaphorically, like shoot your arm. Like, it's not easy to do that.
No.
But letting someone else do it, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, and would they have to done something that fucked up to go to the Middle East? Because they could have gone to the Middle East for something way smaller. I think.
But they needed support from other countries.
From other countries,
right?
yeah.
It's still, we got to be the good guys. It's important.
Yeah, because have you seen the, what was it called? Fahrenheit 9/11? The documentary, the one by Michael Moore?
Yeah.
Because I remember that they show the guy when, they show Bush when they inform him about the
and that's
planes.
It's so weird
and he's
too.
Sitting there like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, was it this guy? I remember that Michael Moore says, was it this guy that used
and
to
then
play
he just
with
keeps
my
reading
dad?
like
Yeah, and he keeps reading fucking children's stories.
And then Little Red Riding Hood said, just takes a deep breath and just continues.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's almost I don't know, that just the fact that became like the image of what they did, and their reaction was so bad.
True.
To everything happening, so it's hard to say, but.
Yeah, an inside job. I mean, like, Clinton got his dick sucked and everybody heard about it.
Yeah.
The whole world knew about it. And now you have to put all these people to put explosives or whatever. Like, imagine all the power.
That's a tremendous amount of people. You can't just get, like, any old person.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, through some kind of weird hypnotherapy. That's the only thing I can think of. Is if they have, like, some master-slave race that they should do.
True.
But then that's another, okay, now we got another conspiracy to throw on top of the conspiracy.
Yeah, you know, like, so all of them, you get all these people lined up to do this shit, and nobody ever talks, like, nobody gets buyer's remorse. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Some guy on his deathbed being like, okay, before I go, yeah, Twin Towers was an inside job.
And I helped.
Stage it.
Yeah.
You imagine if it actually was, though? That would be totally fucked. Because it could still happen.
There could still be, you could still find out it was an inside job.
Yeah.
Or like another inside job happens and this one's like really badly done. So, could
But
happen.
I mean, yeah, well, that's like the interesting part because, okay, these guys had to do all this shit to get it done by themselves. You know, they had to hire people to put explosives on the 2 towers and hire some other asshole to hijack a plane and then crash it.
That evidence, though, is probably the strongest evidence. And that's the weirdest thing. When they say they're showing the building falling and what's shooting out from the side is like it looks like a demolition.
Yeah.
That is strange. And Building 7 is really fucking strange.
Building 7 is really strange.
The fact that just fell down basically by itself.
By itself, yeah.
And it's like the melting point for the metal that was used in the building is much higher than just fire could destroy it. So that one is fucking weird.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember exactly the argument, but I remember once I was watching this. It was like a TED Talk or something like that.
Yeah?
There was a guy talking about that because the biggest argument that they have is that jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
That's
or
what it is.
whatever.
That's what
they say.
Yeah.
But the guy would say you don't actually need to melt it. You just have to weaken it a little bit so that it just all goes, falling down the way it did. And I can't remember exactly the arguments because I saw it a long time ago. But I remember when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Because of the oxygen and whatever. I'm not going to say anything because I'm going to get it wrong. But I remember that there was like a really strong argument for why it looked like that, like a controlled demolition.
But the things are shooting out the side as it's falling. It's like, pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, but that's the pressure, right? Like all the shit falling down. And obviously it's like, have you seen this picture? Oh, what was it called? I remember once I went to a museum in the States. I can't remember the name of it. But they had like a display about like horrific deaths or whatever.
Okay.
And there was this guy that they were all recreations, obviously. They weren't like the actual body. There was this one guy that had a boulder fall on his face. He was like sleeping, like somewhere camping or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And then some earthquake or some shit happened and a huge ass boulder fell flat on his face. Wow. And killed him. So I remember us asking because the guy right here under his chin, he had it like wide open like this, like almost like a cut. So we thought maybe because of the autopsy they had to do a cut or something. And then they explained to us it was like, no, that was his teeth. His teeth went shooting out his fucking chin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it must be something like that.
Okay. Wild.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Okay. Buildings and
pretty morbid shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like a jaw shooting out.
Yeah, it was like his teeth shot out of his chin. Yeah, because he had a fucking huge ass boulder fall on his face.
Wow.
Yeah, because of the pressure and it has to release or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not gonna get into that because like I said, I'm not an expert on it. But yeah, I remember seeing that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't think inside job. No, man, doesn't sound realist to me.
Are there any conspiracies within Chile about like golpe de estado or anything like that?
Well, I mean, not conspiracies. They say that the United States was involved, which it was. That they gave like monetary support to Pinochet. And,
absolutely, yeah.
And but conspiracies, like they did it to cover something up? No, I don't think so. Not that I've heard of. If anybody here has heard
information that the United States was supporting Pinochet and that like encouraged
the CIA.
Golpe de estado. Yeah. That didn't come out until relatively recently, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was like secreto a voces. It was like something that everybody kind of knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was like totally evidence with Snowden. I think it was like WikiLeaks or that shit.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But yeah, the CIA was involved because it was good for them for it to happen. They had like monetary interests.
Well, because then the Chicago boys came here.
Yeah, the Chicago boys, right?
Yeah. And that was, it was an advantage for the United States to, implant capitalism in Chile.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an advantage for them to put capitalism everywhere.
Yeah. Well, just like.
Have you heard about the HAARP?
It sounds fucking interesting.
HAARP.
This is a machine? Is that what it is?
Okay. I don't remember exactly the details, but I remember once seeing something. It happened when there was this huge ass earthquake in Haiti.
Okay.
So basically, Project HAARP, from what I understand, it's like some sort of missile, some sort of machinery that shoots a beam into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then it bounces off Okay, so the atmosphere has like many layers. It reaches one of these layers and it bounces off one of the other one, and then that creates an earthquake wherever it lands.
Wow. This sounds like an Alex Jones kind of thing.
I mean,
so they wanted an earthquake in Haiti.
Right, because there were never fucking any earthquakes in Haiti. Or I remember the last one that they had was like hundreds of years ago. Here it is, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. There you go, that's a mouthful.
Wow.
HARP was initiated as a ionospheric research program jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, the University of Alaska, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA. Mm-hmm. It was designed and built by BAE, Advanced Technologies. Its original purpose was to analyze the ionosphere and investigate the potential for developing ionospheric enhancement technology for radio communications and surveillance.
Okay.
As a university-owned facility, HARP is a high-power, high-frequency transmitter used for study of the ionosphere. Oh. So, okay.
But it totally exists. It's a real thing. It was used to study...
Yeah, it exists. It was used to that.
To figure out whatever the ionosphere can do.
It's a ionospheric enhancement technology for radio communications and surveillance. I guess that's the weird-ass part, the surveillance part. Yeah, it does exist. HARP is a target of conspiracy theories who claim that it's capable of weaponizing weather. Commentators and scientists say that the advocates of this theory are uninformed, as claims made fall well outside the abilities of the facility, if not the scope of natural science.
I mean, the idea sounds interesting enough. Can you weaponize weather? Because now no one wants to directly have a war, one country with another, right? Because it's just too costly. Our weapons are just too powerful right now.
Yeah.
For there to be a serious war between superpowers.
Yeah.
Just can't happen.
Yeah.
It would be destruction. Mutually assured destruction. So that they would come up with secondary sort of ideas of...
Yeah, you can send those bastards some earthquakes.
Yeah. If you have an earthquake, here comes a hurricane.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
Right.
Hit him with my left, hit him with my right.
HARP is the subject of numerous conspiracy theories. Various individuals have speculated about hidden motivations and capabilities of the project. For example, Rosalie Bertell warned in 1996 about the deployment of HARP as a military weapon. In 1996. Wow. Hold on. Stated in a book published by the committee, the recent scientific evidence suggests that HARP is fully operational and has the capability of triggering floods, hurricanes, droughts, and earthquakes.
Whoa.
Over time, HARP has been blamed for generating such catastrophes, as well as thunderstorms in Iran, Pakistan, Haiti, Turkey, Greece, and the Philippines, and even major power outages, the downing of TW-8 Flight 800, Gulf War Syndrome, and chronic fatigue syndrome.
Chronic fatigue syndrome?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck
they would just
that
throw
is.
people with this...
Yeah, get them totally tired.
Wow.
That would be weird, though.
Yeah.
Imagine if suddenly everybody starts feeling like, oh, man, I'm so tired.
That's nuts.
I know. I don't think it's... I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. That's one of the more interesting ones.
Yeah, I mean, it could totally be possible.
Yeah.
But wouldn't people be all over their asses, auditing
that's another one where...
wouldn't somebody be, okay, HARP, okay, so what do you do with this shit? There should be, some entities that are auditing them, or maybe they're all bought out.
Or, you're saying, one of the guys who is the accountant of the HARP shows up and what are you guys doing today? Oh, my God!
No, just when we were going to trigger a flood. Damn it.
I'm telling everyone.
Wait till Mom hears about this. Yeah, that's weird. HARP.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I mean,
I wouldn't dismiss it.
Yeah. There could be something.
There could be something going on there.
But there's other ones with trying to control ghostly entities, right?
Really, I never heard of any of that. Do you remember
the KGB?
Oh, the Russian police.
Yeah, the Russian.
Yeah.
Sort of secret.
Society,
the
secret police or whatever. Yeah.
This was declassified that they had communicated with ghosts basically, or sort of dead entities, and they try to get the dead entities to do simple things. They had communicated with them. They try to get this dead entity to put a key inside the cupboard.
Here, look, you can read it.
Yeah.
Your turn to read now, my friend. The Illegals Program.
Okay. So named, the illegals program was a network of Russian sleeper agents under non-official cover. An investigation by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, culminated in the arrest of 10 agents and a prisoner exchange between Russia and the United States on July 10th.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The investigation, called Operation Ghost Stories, culminated at the end of June 2010 with the arrest of 10 people in the U.S. Operation Ghost Stories.
Where they get together and tell ghost stories like around a fire?
I don't know if this really has to do with...
No, it doesn't have to do with what you were saying?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
The name is Operation Ghost Stories, but...
Oh, okay.
I think like they were trying to train ghosts to do things for them.
I remember once seeing reading about an article that some people had bought like a smart TV or whatever, and they found microphones inside them.
Oh, wow.
I'm not really sure TV with I don't know how to search it. Because it could
it's so easy to serve it. If I'm sure there's surveillance, right?
Yeah.
At all times, there's surveillance.
Course. Yeah.
And it comes through our phones. I'm assuming. The phone at all times.
Siri, you just say, "Hey Siri," and then it just fucking activates.
And that information's being used for all kinds of stuff.
Okay, here it is. Your smart TV may be spying on you, and stopping it is against the law. This was in February 2015. Is your new smart TV spying on you? Many new TVs are equipped with a microphone that allows for voice control, a function that is akin to Apple's Siri. The functionality is great for innovation and ease of use. Can you imagine having to push buttons on an old-fashioned remote control? But the privacy policies tucked deep inside these boxes of these new TVs reads like they were ripped out of a George Orwell novel. Here's Samsung's. Please be aware that if your spoken words include personal or other sensitive information, that information will be among the data captured and transmitted to a third party through your use of voice recognition.
What nuts.
That's totally fucked.
I mean, I assume that's what was happening. I think everyone knows. We all seem to be kind of cool with it, I guess.
Here's a passage from George Orwell's 1984. Any sound that Winston made above the level of a very low whisper would be picked up by it. Moreover, so long as he remained within the field of vision which the metal plaque commanded, he could be seen as well as heard. There was, of course, no way of knowing whether you were being watched at any given moment, how often, or on what system. The thought police plugged in on any individual wire was guesswork.
Pretty wild.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So what, do you have to like unplug your TV? Is it when your TV is only on? Or is it like at all times? Like, could that fucking thing be listening to us right now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the phone.
Yeah.
Clearly. I mean, that's one that I'm sure someone's hooked up to.
Well, yeah, the read the terms and agreements and shit, nobody reads that. Because they're like totally long. You're like, yeah, whatever.
Swipe. It's like immediately, I agree. I
agree. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm agreeing to, but I agree.
Just give me the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. But I know that the way that they use this data, like the big data, nobody knows exactly like you, like Chris. They know that you're like a user that, goes through your phone and looks for porn or whatever the fuck. They have like, like what your preferences are.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes I'll look up some shit that I want to buy and then I'll have like Facebook ads related to it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, because it's all connected. So they see like your preferences. I remember once seeing there was this app called Nike Run or something like that. Nike Run.
Okay.
And it was an app that you put when you jogged, so it would track like how long you ran and how many calories you burnt or whatever. And then they found, I remember once I went to an event, an interpretation event, and there was this guy talking about that app, and he said that actually what it did was that it would figure out how long you've been running in order to throw you publicity for new shoes.
Which ones? Like, we give him the...
Yeah, no, like, okay, this asshole has run how long now? Oh, he must need new shoes. So, there you go. An ad.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it needs to sustain itself somehow. It's
giving you
utility.
Yeah.
It tells you how far you ran.
Yeah.
So, fuck it.
They grab that info and they say,
like
okay,
really
this asshole is
malevolent.
No.
They're trying to sell us shoes.
Yeah. Fuck them. Fuck them. A Nike app wants to sell me shoes. Fuck them.
Yeah. Really good shoes. I'm sure there's a lot more fucked up stuff than that.
Yeah.
With people's information.
Yeah. What about I was gonna talk about something. What about the Bermuda Triangle?
I think there is something to that. Yeah. Right. And that like ships disappear, right? People disappear in the
People
Bermuda Triangle.
disappear, and flights they go haywire too whenever when they're going over the Bermuda Triangle.
Haven't they done an investigation? And it's like,
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting enough that something. I mean, I totally imagine. There's enough stories about the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
And it seems like one of those places what could happen. I don't know. There's like portals, right?
Well, yeah.
Supposedly portals.
Supposedly it's like a portal.
Just like La Serena in Chile is apparently a portal, right?
Really? I never heard that. A portal to what?
Of like different spirits and dimensions and things like that.
Okay. And La Serena.
La Serena. Sedona, Arizona is also considered a portal of like...
Really?
That's why people always go there for like spiritual retreats and things.
Shit.
It's like a highly charged...
Oh, okay, yeah. I've heard about that shit. Yeah, where you go and like supposedly all the energy is flowing to that exact same spot, so people go there and like meditate or whatever.
That's from like the energy starts there. It's the fulcrum, and then it goes out to other places.
Okay.
And so it's like strongest there.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to read a book, but it was totally fiction though. Like it was a novel, like a kid's novel. It was about the Bermuda Triangle, and it was about supposedly Earth is a huge airship.
Okay.
So the Bermuda Triangle was the way that you could access like the cockpit of said spaceship.
Okay.
And the people that control it, they have like triggers for floods and all that kind of shit because it's an airship.
Here we go back again.
Yeah, here we go back again to that shit. And supposedly the people that command it are like aliens, super intelligent aliens, and they look like the little green men.
Okay.
You know, but it was, like I said, it wasn't trying to be like honest. It was like some fantasy novel. It was pretty interesting. I remember when I read it as a kid.
Just throw it all together.
I can't remember what it was
the
called. Like La Nave Fantastica, some shit like that.
Okay.
I remember. It was pretty interesting when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I read about that. But the Bermuda Triangle, yeah, I guess that the compasses don't work there. They get all haywire and they go like
Apparently
spinning around.
there is a problem with the electric field there.
Yeah. I remember once I read about some people that overflew the Bermuda Triangle and that suddenly there was this guy that was looking out the window and everything was purple and electric.
Okay.
And some shit like that.
Purple and electric. And then Prince appeared.
True.
Do you know the power of rock?
Prince.
Everything just became so fabulous.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah. It's weird, man. Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy. I mean, it has to be it's part of us, right? We have to make this kind of shit up. El chupacabra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known people that have actually claimed to have seen it.
Yeah?
El chupacabra, it's like Bigfoot for you guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Bigfoot, what? Is it like a guy with a big foot? I mean, what's the whole deal behind him?
There's a couple theories. A lot of people claim to have seen like a giant ape creature, like ranging from 6 feet tall to like 8 feet tall.
Okay.
And yeah, the Appalachians towards Canada, known as Sasquatch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, they like to have their own society.
Oh, okay.
Also, now they're intelligent.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
It's not like some random baboon.
No.
It's like a sentient, intelligent being.
But strangely enough, they did discover a giant ape pretty recently called the Billy ape or the Bondo ape.
Really?
Yeah.
Bondo ape.
It walks on 2 feet, and it stands almost 6 feet tall.
No fucking way.
It's a totally real discovery.
Bondo.
100% real.
Bondo ape.
Yeah.
Or the Billy ape. Oh my God, yeah, here it is. The Billy apes or Bondo mystery apes are large chimpanzees that inhabit the Billy Forest in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The apes nest on the ground like gorillas, but they have a diet and features characteristic of chimpanzees.
Probably like they're ultra aggressive. Like
They must be. Have you ever heard of the Kodiak bear?
Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Oh man, I remember when I was in Canada, I saw this news because there's tons of bears over there.
Yeah.
And I remember there was this one guy that he encountered a Kodiak bear.
Yeah.
So I guess he was gonna attack him, and then he shotgunned him. He had to shotgun him twice, and like from really close by. A quemarropa, you say here. I don't know what you mean. I don't know how you say it in English.
Yeah.
But he had to put like 3 because it's like this thick of fucking fat and fur.
Wow.
So the guy killed it. He didn't want to, but he had to.
Yeah.
And they took a picture of him, and the bear's paw went from his chin to his dick. I swear to God.
Yeah?
He had like the paw. It was like, yeah, like his whole stomach
Okay.
was just the paw. Not the leg, mind
Yeah.
you, the paw.
That was him being like, "This is what I killed."
Yeah.
Like, so I guess.
But
Okay.
man, that's a fucking monster, man.
Yeah.
I would never want to fucking face any of that shit.
I think you could very easily see a bear and confuse it to be Sasquatch.
True, right?
But enough people have seen Sasquatch that it's. I don't know. I mean, maybe like in our past.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe in our past, this is what we evolved from.
Yeah,
and
we were all Sasquatches.
You're seeing like reflections from our past somehow,
Yeah.
or that it's still
Some-
same
they
in
haven't
our
evolved
consciousness,
yet.
right?
Yeah.
It's built in our brain that we still see certain things. I don't know. Nobody's in. It could be completely false too. Who the fuck
True.
knows?
Yeah, who the fuck knows? Have you ever encountered bears? Like at all? 'Cause
In
when
person, I mean, I did a lot of camping and stuff in the Appalachian, and
And you saw bears there?
like we were just told, like make a lot of noise when you're walking.
Yeah.
Don't be quiet.
Don't be
because
quiet
there
at
are
all.
pumas. There are fucking like
Oh man.
little lions that could hunt you down if you're not being loud. Like if you look vulnerable.
Yeah.
And then bears, like we'd have to put our food into bags.
Yeah, and then
at night,
and then raise them up like a flag.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like make sure it was out of range of bears because bears would totally come and fuck you up if you didn't.
Yeah. I remember once I went camping and they told us the same thing, that whenever you camped, you had to put your food up high. That and toothpaste. They told us that for some reason, like bears are really attracted to toothpaste.
Yeah.
For whatever the fuck reason.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember once when I went camping, I saw a little bear, a cub,
Yeah.
just walking like nearby. And I was like, holy fuck.
It's
I
so
was,
beautiful. And then the
No,
mom
no,
comes
I was
like,
scared.
"Ugh."
But yeah, that's the thing. Because they told me, like, if you see a cub,
It's the
get
worst
the
thing.
fuck away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the mom's going to be over there
Ultra aggressive.
Ultra aggressive. I remember they took this one guy to jail because he went camping and he did a barbecue right after winter ended.
Okay.
And they took him fucking to prison. Because after winters, when, you know, these guys hibernate. So when
Okay.
they wake up, they're totally fucking aggressive. Totally fucking aggressive.
Okay.
So you can't go and do a fucking barbecue when these guys wake up starving.
They're like, this
You
is
know?
for your own good.
Yeah, yeah. So they took him to prison for being a total asshole.
Wow.
Have you seen? I remember once I saw like a video on YouTube or whatever the fuck of some a bear. Like they caught bears when they wake up, like after hibernation.
Yeah?
They look terrifying. Yeah. They look
Must have
terrifying.
blood.
Yeah, blood.
I need blood.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
It's like for a meme, right?
You know what I did not too long ago? I got into a Facebook group regarding flat Earth.
Oh, nice.
Jesus Christ, those people.
Yeah?
Oh my God, are they fucked in the head?
You told me about this like last week. It's
Yeah,
like, this is just
yeah.
for fun, and you don't actually write anything of your opinion because they'll kick you out.
Yeah.
Then you're not
we'll-
entertained.
Yeah, so we'll wrap up with this, but yeah, flat earthers, those are like, they're totally fucked up in the head.
I mean, so it's rested upon the idea that everything is surrounded by the Arctic and Antarctic, right? Ice.
Yeah, and there's like a dome. It is flat, and there's a dome around us.
Okay.
So, I don't know, man. I've seen these people, like, they'll put up, like, YouTube links of videos of people. They
But
say
it's
that,
rested upon when you look straight ahead. It looks straight ahead. There's no curve.
yeah, there's no curve.
That's the entire thing is rested upon that.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much that.
As far as I can see, it looks pretty straight to me.
Yeah, so it must be flat.
Gotta be flat.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they were saying, I saw this one thing some guy uploaded, that he was saying that all airplanes have these sort of build, the mirrors of the windows of airplanes, they're all built in a way that makes it look circular. It's like a whole huge ass conspiracy behind that. Like whoever creates glass or windows for airplanes have to do it that way, because otherwise, you know, the gig is up and everybody would find out that actually the Earth is flat.
Oh, also, all photos of the Earth from space are photoshopped.
True, yeah.
Including the
They're
ones
all
that
photoshopped.
have been here for like since the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, they're all photoshopped according to them. And what else? Oh, it's just so much shit. It's like you look at it and it's like, oh man, I can't believe these people.
It's like, you could throw everything into the Photoshop.
Yeah,
It's Photoshop.
and they're like, wake up, sheeple. You know, like those kind of people. I think the worst people are the people that think that are smart when they're totally fucking stupid.
Sure.
Because they're like, no man, you gotta wake up. NASA is lying to you and whatever. I feel sorry for all these people.
I mean, I think NASA's definitely probably lying to people, but not about flat Earth.
Not about flat Earth.
I'm sure they have information that they. Yeah, but flat Earth, I don't think so.
So I wrote my first post, but they still haven't approved it. I wrote like in a really friendly way.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's say the Earth is flat. So what? Like, okay, so what's next? Okay, let's say tomorrow. People say, okay, you know what? Yeah, we've been lying to you. The Earth is flat. So?
Also, what about, you can take a flight around the entire Earth.
Yeah.
Right?
You can.
Take, what would it be, like 40 hours to go around the entire circumference of the Earth?
I think it's more than that, man.
More than that?
I think. I'm not sure. 180 days.
Around
the world in 180 days? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
They have no explanation for that?
No, I guess not. I mean, it's just so... it's infuriating, man. You read them and you're like, oh, man, these people.
I guess their idea, you go like in a big circle.
They were talking about the eclipse, that the eclipse was bullshit, that it was made up, that there's an actual black sun. Something like that.
Yeah?
I saw this one guy that wrote, like... I swear, I'm not kidding you. I swear to God. He was like, okay, so why do they tell us to not look directly to the sun when there's an eclipse? Is it because of our eyes, or is it something that they don't want us to see? I swear to God.
Oh, my God.
I swear to God. And there's this one guy. Oh, man. I saw one that he was like, okay, why can you not look at it if it's supposed to be a huge ball of fire? Like, I can look at fires and nothing happens. I swear.
No way.
I swear. Those are their arguments, bro. I swear. Like, okay, so you can look at forest fires and no problems, but suddenly, you look at the sun and now suddenly it's going to fuck your eyes up? Why is that? What are they hiding from us?
They're the same intensity.
Yeah. And also some people say that the sun is not as far away as they have told us.
Okay.
That there are like pictures of, like airplanes and people like, I don't know, an airplane like right next to the sun. Like went right by it. And there was this other guy like, okay, if the sun, if supposedly the temperature goes lower when you go higher, why does that happen when you're getting closer to the sun too? Like just bullshit like that, like fucking 5th grade shit.
Wow, it's astonishing.
It's astonishing. It's astonishing. Today, man, 2019.
Especially with the internet.
That's
the thing.
With the internet, yeah.
Like we have all this information, and at any time you can just be like, well, it's...
Pictures of the sun, and there's like, I don't see any fire here. Like, come on, man. Are you for real?
It's when the false media thing, I don't know. Like, you got to pick your battles.
True.
You got to pick your battles. Why do people pick flat Earth? It's like, this is the one I'm going to stay to.
But my point still stands. Okay, so let's say that the Earth is flat. Okay, let's entertain that idea. So what? Like, what would happen if tomorrow they say, okay, yeah, Earth is flat?
Because it's not
are
only
these people going to be like, yeah.
It's not only that the Earth is flat, it's that everyone... That like their whole life has been like
predicated on a lie.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything's just a fraud. We've been ruined.
Yeah.
It comes with that as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
They're both. Yeah, no, that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you post that.
Yeah, when I posted, I'm like, okay, so what? Like, what would happen? Like, what would the world go into turmoil? Like, would people riot? Like, I don't know. Like, nothing would happen, I guess. But the Earth isn't flat, so.
Yeah.
So you got that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Earth is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I guess it's time for us to wrap up. Any closing comments? Anything you would like to add?
No, it was fun. There's still a lot of conspiracies that we didn't totally hit into.
Yeah.
We
can talk about them.
But another time.
We'll
find another theme for next time.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. So remember, listen to us. We are on Spotify right now. So go give us a follow, give us a like, and all that shit.
Yeah.
And see you next week, I guess.
Hasta la próxima.
Hasta la próxima. Chao, chao.